everybody. Today I'm going to review DEWALT's DCD995 half-inch 20-volt brushless hammer drill driver kit. Now the nice thing about this is the fact that it is using their standard 20-volt max slide rail batteries, which are lithium packs. They're not the older NiCad packs, and they're going to have a ton of power and runtime. Now what you need to consider also, because this is their high-end drill and it does have a brushless motor, it's going to be very efficient and very powerful. Now the nice thing about a hammer drill versus just a standard drill driver is the fact that not only is it going to drill holes in wood or metal, but you can also easily drill holes into concrete, masonry, or even stone. So what I'm going to do in this video is really put that to the test. We're going to do a lot of different runtime testing, not only through wood, but also through masonry, and you'll be able to see the amount of work you're going to be able to get done on just one battery charge. So next let me show you the different features that they have built into this, and then we're going to see how it actually performs. Here's a closer look at what's actually going to come in the box. Now this is if you buy a kit. That's going to include the drill, a side handle, 2 of their 4 amp hour battery packs, a protective tool bag, as well as a DCD101 rapid charger. Now the nice thing about this charger is it's going to charge your batteries extremely quickly, and it can also charge not only the 20 volt max batteries, but also the 12 volt max batteries. Now if you're already part of the 20 volt max lineup and you already have batteries as well as a charger, then they do also offer this as a bare tool only. So it would not include the charger, the tool bag, or the batteries. And if you do buy the bare tool, it's going to include just the drill as well as the side handle. Here's a closer look at the drill, and the first thing I want to point out is the fact that everything that's yellow is going to be a very hard plastic, and then this black portion around the base, around the grip, the side bumpers, as well as the protection around the rear is made of a very soft rubber. The chuck on this is going to be a half-inch all-metal ratcheting chuck, and they do include not only a bit extension holder, but also a belt clip included in the package. Now those don't have to be installed, but if you do choose to install them, only one little screw holds each of those on, and I do have it currently set up for right-handed use. Now if you're left-handed, then you could easily pop those screws out, swap them, then screw them back in, and it would be set up for left-handed use. On the top of the drill is where you're going to adjust the different clutch settings. Now you can see this little arrow imprinted in the metal. That's lining up with clutch mode 1, which is going to be a very low torque. So with almost no resistance, the clutch would engage and stop the chuck from turning. Now you can crank that all the way up to 11. There's 11 possible positions. To override the clutch, the little thing right here that looks like a drill bit is going to be a drill mode. That will not have any clutch cutoff. And then you'll see the last setting will be a hammer mode. So if you're going to be drilling into masonry or even stone, that's the setting you want to be on. Now in addition to this, there's 3 different speed or power modes. Speed mode 1 is going to be 0 to 575 RPMs. That's going to be a very low speed but high torque mode and would be best for drilling into metal. Speed mode 2 is going to be 0 to 1350 RPMs. And then finally speed mode 3, which is going to be the fastest but lowest torque mode, is going to be 0 to 2000 RPMs. As far as the clutch goes on the DEWALT, it is going to be a very unique one. And the reason I say that, it does have an electronic clutch, which is not normally seen on other drills. Now this Ingersoll Rand has a typical clutch, which would be a mechanical one. And what's going to happen when the clutch setting is reached, you're going to hear a bunch of vibrations and the motor is going to continue to spin. So the chuck will not spin, but the motor will continue to spin. You're going to hear a lot of noise. Where the DEWALT is actually going to kill power to the motor because it has that fully electronic clutch. To demonstrate what I mean by that, first we'll take the Ingersoll Rand. Now I do have the clutch setting on 1, which would be almost no torque will engage it, and you can see it will free spin. But if I hold onto the chuck and then pull the trigger, you can see it's not turning, but you do hear a lot of noise. So that's a mechanical clutch. When we take a look at the DEWALT, however, it's also going to be on clutch mode 1, and it's going to free spin. But when I hold on to its chuck, you can see that the motor is not going to continue to spin, and it did send a signal back through the drill, killing the power to the motor. So that's the difference between the electronic clutch and then just the standard mechanical clutch like you're going to find on most drills. Now right here on the base of the drill, just above the battery, is going to be the LED light. Now that's not around the chuck, but it does project upwards, and you can see if we aim it at something, it does a very good job at lighting up the area we're working on. So it really does project a lot of light. You can turn that on by just barely pressing in on the trigger. You don't need to have the actual chuck turn in order to activate it. Now once it is activated, it does have a 20-second delay, so you can use this as a flashlight in those low light situations. Now normally I use an impact driver to drive screws, but here's some 3-inch coated deck screws, and we're going to sink them in this 2x10. We'll go ahead and line it up at the top, and in speed mode or power mode 3, it'll drive them right below the surface. Now we can bump that up a little bit by using a socket as well as some lag screws and try that same test. Okay, I've got a fully charged 4 amp hour battery pack on here, along with a 1-inch self-feeding auger bit. Let's see how many holes we can drill through a standard 2x6 on just one charge. Okay, it made it fully through 120 holes, and on the 121st hole, the battery gave out. Now to see how it does drilling some holes into metal, I put a 1/2-inch bit in the chuck, and I'll be drilling holes into this 4-inch by 4-inch square tubing. Now the sidewalls in this are a 1/4 inch thick. Normally you'll need to use a lot of lubrication as well as drill a pilot hole, especially for the larger size holes like this 1/2-inch bit. Now because I'm using an aftermarket accessory called a rapid drill, this is going to create a lot of compound leverage because when I pull back on this handle, that's really the only force I need to exert other than pulling on the trigger. I don't need to press into the drill, and it's going to attach the exact same way as the side handle would. So all you'll do is just slip this right over the large piece of metal you want to drill a hole into, line it up, press the bit against the metal, and then pull the trigger. Okay, I've got a fully charged 4 amp hour battery pack on here, along with a 2 9/16 self-feeding wood bit. Let's see how many holes we can drill through standard 2x material in just one battery charge. Okay, it made it fully through 62 holes, and on the 63rd hole, the battery finally died. And finally, for the last runtime test, I have a brand new 1/4 inch masonry bit, along with a fully charged battery pack. We're going to be on speed mode or power mode 3, which is going to be a very high speed mode. And we're going to see how many holes we can make in standard hollow block on just one charge. 443 quarter-inch holes into hollow block on just one charge. So now you've seen DEWALT's DCD995 half-inch 20-volt max brushless hammer drill driver kit for yourself. And like I said at the beginning of the video, a hammer drill is going to have that added bonus over a standard drill driver, because not only will it be able to drill into metal as well as wood, you can very easily drill holes into masonry or even stone. Now what you want to keep in mind with a standard drill, even though you can buy a masonry bit, it's going to take you a very long time to even drill into a standard cinder block, where with this, especially with the runtime tests, we put the quarter-inch bit in here and drilled 443 holes on just one charge. Now that took me over a half an hour of non-stop drilling, and it did not have any issues, and it did not overheat once the entire time. Now also with that wood runtime test with the 1-inch auger bit, or even the 2 9/16 self-feeding wood bit, which are very large, it also had no issues with either one of those. So even though those sizes may be larger than what you're planning on using, a plumber or an electrician will use that large of bits on a regular basis. So the DEWALT had no problem at all plowing through the wood, and really it will do a massive amount of holes per battery charge. Now lastly, I want to point out the fact that the handle is fully removable. So if we take a look at this, I do not have it installed right now. So I could use this just as a standard drill and the handle's not going to get in the way. But when I want maximum control, I can go ahead and just slip it right over the chuck, crank it down, and just really in a matter of a second or two, it's going to be ready to go. So if you're drilling large holes in metal, wood, or concrete, that's a real good idea to use to give you maximum control. Now it's also ambidextrous. So I'm right-handed, so I have it set up for right-handed use. But if you just unscrew it, you can easily flip that around and then set it up for left-handed use. Now the other thing to keep in mind with this drill versus some of the competition, that handle can rotate 360 degrees. Where the other ones might have maybe 4 positions that are possible, this one can rotate no matter what angle you're at. You're going to be able to have maximum control the entire time. Now it's not something that I use all the time, but like I said, when I drill large holes, I always use a handle so it doesn't catch and then twist my wrist. Now lastly, let's talk about the warranty. DEWALT does have a 3-year warranty on this. So if you ever do have a problem with it and it's not an abuse situation, they will fix it for you free of charge. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.